Hello viewers, you're welcome to another episode of The Now Show, the show for winners and overcomers. And today, wow, I am so excited because I have a unique woman here with me, and that's why we're titling today's show Uniquely Rare Winner. You know why I said that in a minute. So welcome with me to The Now Show, my sister, my friend, Mrs. Monlisa Abimbola Azeh.
Thank you.
Wow,
Thank you
you're welcome to
so
The
much.
Now Show. We have been waiting to do this. And finally, we're here today.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you for doing this with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Wow. Mrs. Azeh, she's the Managing Director of Mona Matthews. Mona Matthews, they make shoes. But before we dive into the show proper, I would like to read her resume. Mrs. Monlisa Abimbola Azeh, she obtained her Bachelor of Law degree from the University of Lagos and was called to the Nigerian bar. She worked as a lawyer for several years and even ran her own law firm. In 2002, as she founded Mona Matthews, which designs and retails high-quality leather shoes and bags. Monlisa Abimbola Azeh attended the Faith Foundation's Aspiring Entrepreneurs and Emerging Entrepreneurs programs. She also attended the Lagos Business School, EDC, in 2009 as a Goldman Sachs Scholar, where she obtained a certificate in entrepreneurial management. Monlisa served on the federal government's Leather Reformation Committee, which was mandated to create a leather policy for Nigeria. She's also a Faith Foundation volunteer and a trained mentor. Monlisa Abimbola Azeh is on the faculty of the Joseph Business School, JBS Lagos, which is an international business school with campuses in several countries. Monlisa is mother to Oluwapamilerin and Justina. Welcome with me to The Now Show, Mrs. Monlisa Abimbola Azeh. You're welcome to The Now Show again.
Thank you.
So
Thank
good
you
to
so
see
much.
you.
Thank you.
Wow, uniquely rare winner. That
Wow.
is what we call you.
Thank
you. Here you are doing mind-blowing things, producing shoes and bags. And somebody who trained as a lawyer, worked as a lawyer, even having their own firm.
Yeah.
So how did you decide to leave all of that into this?
I don't know that you actually decide to leave.
So how did you catch the bug?
Okay, to start with, I think for me, law was something you did because your parents wanted you to study law.
Okay, you're one of those ones. Okay.
Your parents wanted you to study law.
Okay.
My parents were Ekiti. I know Ekiti. We can read
Scholars.
We
They are
can
known.
read books
Yes.
in quotes. And then I went to FGC.
Okay.
And some other good schools.
Yes.
So I had good grades.
Yes.
So it just like fell into place. You know, that kind of thing. My older brother is a doctor.
Okay.
I studied law. My younger brother studied architecture. In those days,
Okay,
you had to be a professional. Okay. So I sort of fulfilled that dream for them. So to speak. Now for me, I've always been an artistic person.
Okay.
And I also loved watching things like Perry Mason, which was like a law drama.
Okay.
So also inside of me, I felt, oh yeah, okay, law. Because my own perspective was what we saw on television, you know, criminal law, prosecuting criminal cases, all the courtroom drama, the razzmatazz and everything, you know. But after finishing law in real life.
Yes. I like that in real life. Okay.
You know, there are so many dimensions to it and everything.
Okay.
And I remember the first law firm where I worked, my principal wasn't even practicing. She was practicing, you know, but she wasn't going to law court. She wasn't doing litigation. I was like, excuse me, please, can we be going to court? She was like, going to court, how? She didn't go to court.
Okay.
She actually had very big she had a very good practice. She had very big clients.
Yes.
And she used to firm out her litigation.
Okay.
And our office was in Western House.
Okay.
You know? And had a lot of SANs and, senior lawyers
Yes.
who were going to court. I mean, the High Court was just behind.
Yes.
So I said, I can do this. I was hot out of school. I would go next door and ask questions. Read my books, So we started litigation, just because I said, let's do it.
Because you were interested.
Because I was interested.
So you made a change in the firm. Wow.
Certainly.
Yes.
And we started taking on litigation and all of that, It wasn't easy, but it was interesting for me.
Yes.
When I left, I started my own practice. But I think I left too early.
Okay.
I hadn't learned enough.
Okay.
So I said to a friend of mine, I said, listen, I'm quite aware that there's a knowledge gap. And that I know I need to go back to chambers if I really want to practice law.
Okay.
To learn more. So I got my second job.
Okay.
As in another law firm, She was into litigation and all of that,
From just what you've said, I've picked many things. You went to the first law firm. You knew what you wanted. You caused there to be a change in that law firm. You went on ahead. You set up your own law firm. And you realized that you left too early.
Yes.
And you still went ahead to go back to get another job.
Yes.
Usually when people set up their own businesses, there's that reluctance, even when they get a nudging that I've made the wrong decision. There's that, reluctance to go back
and make
and
amends.
here you are. You went back to get a second job. Wow.
I did.
You see why you're such an amazing woman. Wow.
I think I'm also pretty much adventurous.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So the next law firm, my practice was already thriving.
Wow.
At least I was paying my bills and everything. So I said to her, listen, I have my practice, but I know I need to learn some more and I bring value to you. And she was very pleased to have me.
Yes.
In fact, my first employer was like, if you knew you wanted to go back into, why didn't I tell her? Why didn't I give her that first option of refusal and everything? But I mean,
it just showed you must have made an impact. I mean,
so I stayed on. I stayed on with the second employer, and then my practice grew bigger.
Okay.
And balancing the two was now, an issue. But because I had a very good, we're still friends till today.
Wow. She's awesome.
She's over 85 now.
Oh.
And we're still friends. I mean, when I call her, we talk for over an hour.
Amazing.
And then so I told her.
The power of relationships. That's why a lot of people don't understand. Yes.
We had a very good relationship. And I learned a lot from her.
Okay.
And so when I was leaving, she actually gave me a few of the cases I was working on. I said, go and finish these cases and you get the fees, and all of that. So I moved on and started, and continued my practice.
Okay.
Then I got born again.
Okay. Okay.
I got born again. And then I started wondering, about life and what I was doing and all of that. In between all of that, I started working in church full time, but I still had my practice.
Okay.
But now I worked in church.
Okay.
In fact, I worked in 2 different churches full time. And then
full time, and you were still running your practice.
Yeah, because you know how legal work is. And then by this time, I had sort of like really narrowed down my practice to essentially selling property.
Okay.
So I wasn't doing litigation anymore.
Okay.
I was essentially just selling property.
Okay.
I had clients and and all of that. I had clients that were buying and selling.
Okay.
So I was just basically representing them, and all of that. But now shoes, where the shoes came in is at this time I was finding it difficult to get my size in nice looking shoes.
Wow.
My feet are very wide. I'm actually just a size 41 in length.
Okay.
But width-wise, I'm like, and then one foot is bigger than the other.
Wow.
So my left foot is 43 width, my right foot is 44 width. I think my feet are the most famous feet in the world.
No, you know how they say.
This dimension.
No. You know how they say God knows the end from the very beginning. God created you like that so that you could solve problem for a lot of people. Wow.
He didn't make a mistake.
I'm telling you.
I mean, as we go on, I will even tell you more. But
Yes.
so it became more difficult. And then now I know what exactly was also going on. Now, what was going on was that at this time, Naira, so we're talking about late 90s.
Yes.
Yes, late 90s, before the millennium.
Yes.
Right? So the Naira had depreciated.
That's when we had the structural adjustment program.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Naira had depreciated
Yes.
in value. And we were now in a situation where people who were bringing in shoes
Yes.
were bringing in shoes from China. When we were growing up, shoes were from Italy, Spain, England, real leather.
Yes.
So if I bought real leather shoes, the right foot that was wider, I would stretch a bit.
Okay.
But now you were not even seeing real leather. And if you eventually saw, they were not nice. They were not really comfortable. They were just, I mean, at a point, when I was practicing as a lawyer,
Yes.
I would buy clips because the right foot would split. The leather would split.
Wow.
So I'll buy shoe clips to cover, they were in vogue, but for me, it was essential to cover where the shoes had split, and then to go out for parties. I was like Cinderella.
Wow.
I had to take Panadol. And Panadol would last maybe 2 hours. And after 2 hours, I have to leave the party because you will know the real me.
Are you serious?
It's either that or I walk out without the shoes.
Without the shoes.
It was that bad,
Wow.
So it was really that bad.
Wow.
So I started noticing that people were wearing real leather shoes.
Yes.
Now the kind of people who were wearing these real leather shoes, like your driver, your messenger, So I observed and I said, where did you get these shoes from? He said, they're made in Nigeria. I said, how? One shoemaker made it. Because before then, our mentality was imported.
I had to buy from the abroad.
Yes. Or somebody who had imported and sold in Balogun or in a boutique.
Yes.
So that was the first eye opener. Like,
wow.
Really? They're making shoes in Nigeria? Yes. Okay. So I asked someone to make me a pair. And he said he doesn't make shoes for women, that he only makes shoes for men. Make the shoes now, what are you talking about?
Yes.
But, so he made those shoes for me.
Yes.
And they were very ugly.
Of course. I told you. He gave you notice. I don't make for women.
Yeah, but they were very ugly.
Yes.
But I wore them. And then somebody else saw the shoes, like, where do you get these frightful looking shoes from? Frightful. He made them for me. Said, no, somebody else who makes nice shoes, truly. So sometimes, some things look like a disappointment.
Yes.
But God has wrapped a treasure.
That's right.
In something that looks, honestly, and it took me a while to even remember this part of my story, that I actually wore those ugly shoes.
Wow.
Because I was trying to remember, how did I meet my first shoemaker who could make at least fairly decent shoes? Yes. So somebody else introduced him to me and said, so he now, when I met him, I was like, oh, he said, yeah, he can make it. I was like, okay, fine. So I now started to design for myself. So I designed this first pair, and a friend of mine saw them. I said, I like your shoes. Where did you get them? I said, I made them. I said, what do you mean you made them? If your dress, I like your dress.
Yes.
You tell me you made them, we understand.
Yes.
We've always known about tailors, seamstresses, and all of that. But shoes,
exactly.
I made them. I designed them. She took those ones away. I'm still looking for her.
Yes.
So I designed another pair. My mom was a very stylish woman.
Yes.
And everything.
Yes.
And I know that I inherited a lot of that from
her. Yes.
So I made another pair. My mom saw them, like, I like your shoes. Where did you get them? I said, I made them. You made me a pair. So I made a pair for her.
Yes.
At this time, I was still working in church.
Okay.
I was running the music department of this present house
at
the time.
Yes.
And then so people started hearing and seeing what I was doing. And then another friend said she wanted a pair. We made a pair for her.
Yes.
It didn't turn out so well. So she said to me, she knows another shoemaker. And she introduced another shoemaker to me.
Wow.
Yes. So I now had to...
How God arranges people in your path to make sure that thing he has deposited in you, you don't let it die.
Yes.
Wow.
But you see, at that time, I hadn't received a vision. I hadn't really seen myself as a shoemaker. So at this time, I was a lawyer, working in a church, making shoes on the side.
A lawyer working in a church making shoes on the side.
Yeah.
How you combined
all
many
of that.
things.
I did so many things. I mean, in between that space in my life, I also went into events management with some friends of mine.
Wow.
I used to organize Christian concerts,
Okay.
musical concerts.
Okay.
You know, by virtue of the work I was doing in the kingdom.
Yes.
You know, so I was able to. I was doing it. I wasn't really thinking money like
yes.
that.
Yes.
But then, as all this one time was going.
Mm-hmm.
So when I left this person's house, I went to another church. I now became church administrator in this new church where I was attending. And then I worked there. I think I worked there for like a year or two.
Yes.
And then, I worked there for about 2 years, I remember. And then I knew it was time to go. So I went to speak to my pastor and I was like, listen, I think I need to move on. And he said, yes, he agreed with me. I'd done what they had, because before I came, they said they had been praying for someone who had the kind of background I had.
And to put structure.
To come into their church, you know. And when I came, it was like a mission, so to speak.
Yes.
You know? So, and then I went. So I went to speak. So he was like, so what are you going to do? I said, well, you know, I could practice law. I could do events management. I could make.
You already had so many things lined up for you.
He said, you know, that sounds really confused. So you're not sure what you're. But I was going to leave without knowing what I was
exactly.
going to do.
Wow.
You know, so he was like, so he said, go and pray about it. And at that time, we had a tradition in the church. If pastor says you go and pray, you go and pray on the altar. It's not go home and go and pray.
Okay.
He wants to see that you are praying. So once people come into church and they see you, they know that.
They know that.
They've asked you
pastor sanctioned you.
You know? Yes. But again, you see, that helped me because I could have done anything and it might not have been the right thing.
Yes.
So I took time out and I prayed and God said, go and make shoes. And I know I heard distinctly.
So there's the importance of waiting for direction to know exactly what to do so that you do not go into the wrong thing. Especially when you were confused and had so many things.
Yes, and I had so many things I could have done and I could have done well.
Yes.
You know, but you know, but like you said, God saw the end from the beginning.
Yes.
You know.
Certainly.
So I told him, I said, this is what I heard. He said, oh, fine, fantastic. You know. And not only did he, I mean, at this time I didn't have much money.
Yes.
I hadn't been saving anything per se, you know, and all of that. So it wasn't like, oh, go and open a factory, No. I knew how I was going to do it.
Okay.
Because I had a little bit of experience in the past, you know, and I was coming into it from a different dimension.
Okay.
Now, by this time I was 39.
Okay.
Or 38 going on 39, you know. So I also knew I wasn't going to start going to go and learn how to make shoes.
Okay.
You know. But I had experience that I knew I could bring. I'd been wearing shoes for 39 years, right? I'm a woman. I've been a lawyer.
Okay.
I'm exposed. I've traveled. I've seen good shoes. I've worn good shoes. You know?
Those certainly are experiences.
Exactly. And relevant to what I wanted to do. Plus, I am a creative person. I'm a stylish person.
Okay.
And these were my strengths that I wanted
with
to
stylish mom, and stylish mom was there as well.
You know, so
yes,
these were the strengths I was going to bring in. But again, I realized that, well, okay, first, before I say that, so I went to speak to a friend of mine who is a financial person, you know, and I said to him, listen, this is what I want to do. And this is how I want to do it, you know. I said, I want to design and outsource production.
Okay.
And then retail. And he said, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. The Nike is the largest shoe brand in the world. And what they do is exactly what I described.
Yes.
Just that it's on a larger scale.
Okay.
That they don't produce. Yeah. They don't run any factory.
So they just put their brand.
They design. They design from the concept.
Yes.
To the actual, you know. So they design. They have manufacturers who produce for them.
Yes.
To their specifications.
Okay.
And then they retail. You know, or they distribute and all of that. So I said that's what I want to do. So he said, oh fine, that's a good idea. You know. And so I went back to so I was leaving church.
Yes.
Because I'd now closed with my pastor and leaving the job. And one of the female pastor said to me, "Oh, I hear you are leaving." I said, "Yes." She said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to make shoes." She said, "Oh, what kind of shoes?" I said, "Nice shoes." And she said, "Oh, okay." And then she got me a pair of slippers she had seen someone wear that she had admired.
Okay.
Said, "Can you make this?" I said, "Oh, yes." It was a very simple but nice, skin one band slippers. It was a stylish cut, interesting heels, and that was my first order.
Wow.
She ordered 2 pairs.
Wow.
I can never forget
her. Of course, you can't forget the days of little beginnings. I know. Yes.
And recently my classmates, my 85 set of law school, they gave me an award.
Okay, yes.
So I posted it.
Congratulations on that. Yes, I saw that. Congratulations. Yes.
And she saw it and she was like, "Thank you so much." She was congratulating me, and all of that. You were there at the beginning. So that's how I got my first client. And then when the gentleman I spoke to said to me that it was a good idea and everything, but he advised me to go and do a business course.
Okay.
And I listened to him. And he introduced me to Faith Foundation. Okay. And I went. Okay. And it was a good thing. It was a blessing that I went, because Faith had just started. Okay. I think I was the second set or something. Okay. And when I joined them, they were, I learned that I didn't know a lot about business. So lawyers, we always say we're learned
people.
Yes, learned people. But at that time, I realized that as a lawyer, I had learned law, but I hadn't learned business. I hadn't learned how to run a successful business, and that's part of what affected me when I was practicing at that time. Before I now went back to learn some more. Yes. So, and then now moving from practicing law to creating and designing, creating and making and selling shoes. Yes. It's a totally different ball game.
It takes humility for someone to realize that there's something I'm missing. Because entrepreneurs generally just feel that because I'm in business, I am, especially when they're doing well, they feel that they don't have anything to learn. And here you are. You didn't come and say to people that, but actually when he suggested that, to say, me that I have years of experience as this. Exactly. You didn't say, "Oh, me, how can you say I should go and learn?" And so it takes a lot of humility, and it takes a woman like you, you know.
Thank you.
So, why I'm bringing out this point for people out there to know that certain things don't just happen to us. Yeah. You have to key in, especially when people, suggest things, you don't just discount it and say, because there must be a reason for it. And you must be humble enough to learn. Yes. To learn.
Yes. It's interesting that you should say that, because, so I went to Faith Foundation. Yes. But the shoemaking itself, I learned on the job. I learned from my shoemakers. Do you understand? Because, I didn't have the time. At 39, I wasn't going to go and start learning how to make shoes myself. Yes. The people whose work were good enough for what I wanted to do, who fitted, the profile I had in mind for my production and the quality of the shoes I wanted, had been making shoes for like upwards of 10 years at the time I started. Wow. So, and these were my competitors. So if I wanted to compete with them, there was no way I was going to close that gap in a very short while, And you're starting a business at 39, you're not starting it to fail.
Certainly.
You're starting it to win.
Yes.
So what I did was, and I still do, to learn from them. Yes. I would ask questions, I would make observations, and so that's how I started picking. And then also because I deal directly with the end users of my products, I listen to my customers as well. I take feedback. Wow. Feedback is really important, and it's also part of our culture. If anything happens to your shoes, you bring them back to us. If we can't repair, we replace. That's our policy. Wow. So
I hope our listeners are hearing. You should be wearing Mother Matthews shoes.
If we can't repair, we replace, because it doesn't. There's no point you having the shoes in your closet. Yes. When you wear them, that you're going to gain the advantage of having paid so much for them, number one. Number two, that's the only time somebody will say, oh, I like your shoes. And
That's
then
right.
we'll get recognition, we'll get more customers, you know, and then we believe in building relationships.
Yes.
If I've done something and you're not happy about it, we're not going to have a relationship. So communication is very key.
That's right.
You know? And so I picked up tips from the shoemakers. And sometimes I would get a pair of shoes and I'll put it on my table that was made by one shoemaker, and another shoemaker would come in.
Yes.
And then he would be like, auntie, this person. And you know, because they were competing with each other.
I was going to say, I'm sure there's a lot of competition amongst them. Yes.
You know? So everybody would want to
outdo themselves.
And then, you know, so once they were not being nasty. If there was no problem, they would admire.
Yes.
But if there was something wrong, they would speak up. And they would say, auntie, he made a mistake here. He should have done this and he should have done that. And I would absorb that, you know. And then the next time we'll work on it and we'll try it out, you know, and you know.
It's interesting because that means that perfection was also important to them.
Yes.
Great.
In fact, that's another thing I was going to say. When you were saying about teachability.
Yes.
When I'm looking to engage a new shoemaker, that's what I look for. I look for skill, but I look for character more than skill.
Character more than skill.
But you must have something I call the eye.
Okay.
You must be able to see something that is beautiful. You know, so if you come into my office and I have this decoration, you know, I will observe you. You must look at it because it's beautiful.
Yes.
You must be attracted to beauty. It must draw you in. You understand? Because that part of it is innate. It's from God.
Okay.
And if you don't have it, you can't create what I want. You would only you'll be very, you know, regimental in your work. But if you are a creative person, you know, the Bible says deep calls unto deep. This dress you're wearing is beautiful. I actually have a style very similar to it, you know. So so it's pulling me. There's it's pulling me. Do you understand? I've noticed the details of what you're wearing.
Yes.
So you must have that in you for you to make shoes for Monlisa.
Wow.
So once we establish that is there, then you must have the talent. So, but that talent is number 3. The first thing is that eye. The second thing is character. You must be teachable. I don't care how good you are. I don't care how good your eye is. If you don't have character, in fact, I should say character is first. But because character can be learned, it can be adjusted and all of that. That's what I'm saying second. That other one must be there from God in you. The second one, and then the final one, of course, is the skills. But you can always upskill a person. A person can always, you know, he can always improve his skills. He can always learn on the job and all of that.
So character, skills, and having
the eye.
So the eye first, or the character, the eye, then the skills. In fact, I have my last word from you already. If nobody takes anything out, the fact that these 3 things, you must always look out for them. Wow.
Crucial.
Wow. In fact, you know, I'm always very excited. I mean, from the first time that I knew about Mona Matthews, and so I'm wearing Mona Matthews, you know, and
I'm wearing it so well. I mean, your shoes match your dress more than mine match mine.
And I do wear Mona Matthews. I'm hoping to have more money to buy from her. I'm not saying she's very expensive, but I mean
that prayer already.
But I'm sure that you can tell from our discussion that truly, this is a uniquely rare winner. You know, she is doing amazing things with Mona Matthews, and we just thought, not only shoes, bags. I mean, she also makes bags.
Not just women.
And not just women, she makes for men and women.
And school children as well.
Yes, this is somebody who God has placed to, because she saw a problem and she answered immediately. She reacted, she went on. So there's something about identifying problems and creating solutions for those problems. That is what she has done, and she's making good money out of it. She's making the name, more than even the money. She's making the name. So, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. getting to know the story behind Mona Matthews and getting to know you, Mrs. Azeh, because I mean, you are an inspiration for women, for ladies, young ladies, and also an inspiration for people generally, because we've learned so many things. I personally have learned so many things from just this 30 minutes of us sitting together and talking about, Mona Matthews and how you got into it. And I want to commend you.
Thank you.
Like I said, you are such a uniquely rare winner. I mean, winning all the way, and you will keep winning.
Amen.
And, we're going to see Mona Matthews 20 years down the line and say, and we're going to talk to you and everything. I mean, that's your dream.
Yes.
And
Definitely.
to see Mona Matthews on the legs of
many people.
Oh my world! So, viewers, I'm sure you would agree with me that this has been a very interesting and enlightening interview. So until we come your way again on the Now Show, I'm signing off with my guest, Mrs. Abimbola Monlisa Azeh.
Thank you.
Thank you for
so
doing
much.
this with us.
Thank you for having me.
Don't forget to like this video. And if you haven't, subscribe to the Now Show channel today and hit the notification bell so that you do not miss any video that is uploaded. Thank you for watching.